Couldn't afford the expensive scenery again, so I figured I would just try and dress kinda nice for this video and make up for it somehow. And hey, I got a new wall of music, that counts for something, right? What's up everyone, John from ARTV. It's time for another year-end countdown list. This year I'm counting down the top 20 best albums of 2015. These are of course my personal choices, not yours, so don't be offended if you don't see your favorite album in this list. Now, we're going to be counting down obviously in order from 20 to number 1, but what's different this year is the fact that I've expanded it from the top 15 to the top 20. The reason being, I covered more albums in the form of a review in 2015 than I ever have before. Over 135 album reviews, which is crazy to me. Maybe I did a few too many actually, which is why I want to announce that I'm going to be cutting back slightly on the reviews and mainly covering stuff that you guys really request or else I really want to tackle, and I also want to expand into new territories, think things involving charts and countdowns. So maybe we don't just see countdowns at the end of the year or in the form of 7 on Sunday on my second channel, Beyond ARTV. Now, I do want to say if we hit 25,000 subscribers by my birthday, which is the 17th of this month, December, then we will be doing a giveaway in the worst albums of 2015 list that will drop on Christmas Day. With all of that being said, no more hesitation, let's start off this list with number 20.
No flame burns forever. Oh, no. You and I both know this all too well.
While many people didn't agree with the Suns' choice to plug in and go electric, I have to say that I'm happy to see them mixing things up. Gone are the banjos and medieval garb that made them look like a King Arthur tribute band. In is the arena-ready rock that still has the heart and emotion that drew me to them initially. Tracks like Ditmas and Believe practice restraint and payoff, while rockers like The Wolf burn with a fervor that solidifies its place in the world of rock music. Also, you're doing yourself a huge disservice if you have not been playing the track Tompkins Square Park on repeat throughout the year. Hell of a way to kick off a record.
Jaws like the blue-nosed foes. Keep your mouth closed or you can see the soap, nah. I got connections that guaranteed to see closed doors. You hear that underground soap, nah. The way I flows to switch them. The pros been on a mission. Listen into the chamber, get hyperbolic.
Joey's album did take some time to settle in with me, but it has something going for it that I didn't see in a ton of hip-hop releases this year. Not that I covered a ton or listened to as many as I had hoped to, but still, this album has staying power. With repeated listens, I found myself gravitating towards this damn enjoyable record. Right off the bat, we see Paper Trails discussing monetary issues, and he dives into stuff and how it affected his family and his life. And he discusses it not only on Paper Trails, but all throughout this record. It's kind of a running narrative of where he's at in his young life. Fame changes things, but it definitely doesn't have to change who you are as a person, and I definitely am digging how Joey brings his points to the table. He's a super talented young rapper, and I can't wait to hear his next project. Yeah, I've occasionally listened to Marina over the years, ever since Hoodie Allen sampled her in his 2011 track You Are Not a Robot from one of his early mixtapes, but it wasn't until 2015 that she really impressed me. I didn't think I'd ever use the word alternative to describe her music, but things are much more raw and twisted this time around, from the powering guitars of Forget to the chipper splendor that is Blue, and even the depression-drenched ballad Happy that, yes, did grow on me with repeated listens throughout the year. It won me over. I wasn't a huge fan right off the bat. I just have to give Marina and the Diamonds, aka Marina Diamondess, a slow golf clap. Well done, my lady.
2,000 fathoms under a tidal wave. You can never pull me away.
Sweet Like Candy may be a line off of Borns' very own song Electric Love, but damn it if it doesn't describe the majority of this album perfectly. Detailed vocal harmonies, blended styles and genres, and just ear-pleasing guitars. It's just an all-around good time, a good listening experience, guys. I was hooked at Electric Love In Love by 10,000 Emerald pulls its effervescent harmonies and tripping head over heels by the time Holy Ghost rolled around. Look, no, it's not gold every single track. Some of them are just a bit too standard for my personal taste, but I do think that this is something that you're gonna throw on. It's gonna brighten your day. There's so many sensational tracks here. He's got so much potential. This is just the beginning. Trust me. Did I oversell this a bit whenever I reviewed it back in June? Maybe a little bit, but I think some of you guys looked into this and analyzed it way too much. In fact, to death in some scenarios. Look, I've never gone to Muse looking for amazing lyrical content because I've always known that that wasn't necessarily their strong suit. Not the fact that they're playing a weak hand every single song, but more often than not, it's kind of something that I pay attention to the music more than I pay attention to the lyrics, and that's the main complaint I saw about this record. The lyrics. Drones has a massive sound to it that in a way calls back to their older and more guitar-driven days. And yes, some of these songs are a bit weaker, at least in the lyrical department, I'll admit, like Revolt, and especially the whole Drill Sergeant and Psycho thing. It's just a no from me. The good news is that those moments are few and far between, and more often than not, Muse are playing to their biggest strengths, like Matthew Bellamy's soaring vocals, the awesome hammering guitar riffs, and the big bass lines that show up on this record, just so intricate, once again calling back to their glory days. If you're not air guitaring along with The Handler, or just getting chills down your spine whenever you play the track Reapers, especially during the solo, it's just out of this world phenomenal, then you're listening to things wrong and you're looking for way too much. Battles hold a very special place in my heart, mainly because they were the first ever really experimental band that I got into. You can thank Little Big Planet for putting the amazing song Atlas on the soundtrack. My love for them continued to blossom from there. I got the album Mirrored, loved it. Wasn't a huge fan of the second record, honestly. Gloss Drop and the vocal guest and everything like that. They lost their original vocalist, but this time around with Lottie Dottie, I love the fact that they got back to the instrumentals. And really, if you've been a fan of these guys in the past, I don't see how this could disappoint you. It's hard to look at the feisty Summer Simmer or the earwormy.com and see flaws, like I said, especially if you've been into these guys in the past. And I think that they turned out their best opener to date with the Yaba. They totally outdid themselves here.
I'm sorry, I'm not sorry that I'm late to the party with you. Oh, who needs confetti? We're already falling into the groove.
It's another first for ARTV. No, not changing my hair or hat in the middle of the video, but including a country record on my top albums of the year list. 2015 marks not only the year that I started covering a few country albums here and there on my channel, but also the year that I realized that I had been missing out on the incredibly talented Miss Casey Musgraves. Now, this record does pale a bit in comparison to her last excellent record, Same Trailer, Different Park, but to be fair, she did set the bar damn high with that one. There's a lot of diverse sounds on this record. I'm loving the duet that she did with Willie Nelson that closes out this thing, kind of a hidden track. Are You Sure? Just classic country right there. And then you've got the more radio-friendly, at least radio-friendly maybe at the turn of the century, tracks like Biscuits, which are silly, but I have to admit, they're fun at this point. There's some tracks that get a little bit more lyrically explorative. You see her talking about life and death and die fun and just wanting to live life as an adventure and not just be the same boring person day in, day out. Why not mix things up a little bit? And then you've got the super sweet track, Late to the Party, which is easily my favorite song on this thing. The melody on that song is irresistible.
I keep dragging them around. Now I'm dancing with the lawler and a vision is mine. Holding on for your heart. A different kind of danger in the daylight. I can never let go.
Florence Welch guided her band in more of an alternative direction this time around, and the sailing could not have been more smooth. I guess you could say that this wasn't her ship to wreck. No one. Not a fan of the more alternative rock charge songs like What Kind of Man and Queen of Peace or even Ship to Wreck? Well, first, shame on you, but two, I understand some fans are looking for more of a pop appeal like something off of Lungs. maybe Shake It Out off of Ceremonials, or even Dog Days Are Over off of Lungs like I was talking about, I have to say that there are some nice poppier and more slow burning yet still effective tracks like Long and Lost, Various Storms and Satan, even St. Jude. I like to see that there are some connected themes throwing all throughout this thing, and I think that they knocked out a very cohesive record, and that's something that's very important. I had felt a little bit disconnected from some of their past releases, but I have to say this is my favorite thing that they've turned out to date. The brothers are back at it, connecting to more of their darker electronic roots, bringing back the vocal guest with the excellent Born in the Echoes. Everything from St. Vincent to Grammy winner Beck to even second-time collaborator Q-Tip. It just makes for a very wide, appealing record. It's diverse, but it rarely loses focus, and I love the fact that it can go from things like the grimier, darker tracks like EML Ritual, which is probably my favorite tune on Born in the Echoes, to things like the title track with St. Vincent and the poppy Go with Q-Tip, and then the kind of almost paranoid Sometimes I Feel So Deserted, which opens this thing up. I think this record should be very easy for any fan of electronic music to get into and sink their teeth into. Laugh all you want, but you're probably only doing that because you only heard the lead single, I Really Like You, and didn't even bother to play the rest of Emotion. I probably would have given a critic a pretty weird look, something maybe like if they had put Kiss on their favorite records of 2012, but she has rewritten the playbook this time around. Things are different. Times they are a-changin', and old Carly Rae broke out the synth pop and then just guided it and blazed the trail all throughout this excellent and carefully crafted follow-up, which is much better than its predecessor, I have to say. Tender guitars, funky bass, and snazzy synthesizer leads really just pick this album up and carry it to the win, with ballads like All That, and the Taylor Swift-inspired Your Type, and even the ear candy title track Emotion serving as some of the best and most memorable cuts on this LP. Cop it and go straight to your record player. Or phone, or whatever you're listening on. Damn, this doesn't exactly work when most people are just streaming stuff. Can you cop a stream? Is that like copping a feel? Fuck. I'm in a rabbit hole. Get out, nice and smooth. So, how about that Dead Weather album though? Blistering guitars slice and dice their way through, sending out some hard rocking vibes and a few unexpected twists here and there. The most notable of those twists would probably have to be the Lady Gaga-esque power ballad Impossible Winner, which sees Alison Mosshart's vocals gliding over these sharp piano leads in what has to be the most adventurous Dead Weather song to date.
Yes, I'm changing. Yes, I'm gone. Yes, I'm older. Yes, I'm moving on. And if you don't think it's a crime, you can come along.
There's something so smooth and soothing about this record. It's in a way more thought-provoking, more honest, and more bold on a lot of different ways. Lonerism is still an awesome record, I'm not denying that by any means, and I think that album rocks, but I'm digging the more synth-led style and direction that Kevin Parker took this time around. The guitars aren't ghosts though, they're not hiding off in a closet somewhere. Just look at the shining star, the less I know the better, or even eventually. These guitars play a big role in a lot of these tracks. I knew from the opening track, Let It Happen, that we were in for a very special and psychedelic listen all throughout this record, so just sit back, crack a mother effing beer, and just let currents carry you away. According to Spotify's year-end results, the Maine were actually my most streamed artist of the year, which is kind of surprising to me, and while Spotify only does account for probably about 50% of all the music listening that I do, it still says something about how much I enjoyed American Candy as a whole. Diet Soda Society comments on today's world and the point of view that people tend to see things from. Miles Away seems to push the wanderlust button, make me want to travel and that sort of thing, and then I think there's a very important message behind moments like 24 Floors, which conveys a strong message about life and death and just how people tend to look to suicide as an answer. It's smart, upbeat, and never skips a beat. Any fan of rock, pop, or pop punk sleeping on this record should change that immediately.
Sometimes a certain smell will take me back to when I was young. How come I'm never able to identify where it's coming from? I'd make a candle out of it if I ever found it. Try to sell it, never sell out of it. I probably only sell one. Maybe to my brother, 'cause we have this.
Diversity at its finest, my friends. Say hello to your new favorite polarizing record that might not sound like your cup of tea, but trust me, it's gonna settle in over time. You hear that? You hear that? It's the sound of musical happiness taking over right there. I was iffy on the lead single Fairly Local, but then they dropped the radiant gem Tear in My Heart. Over the course of 14 songs, they managed to weave across hip-hop, electronica, indie, and rock, all while still maintaining an oddly cohesive feel. All the way from the spunky We Don't Believe What's on TV to the powerhouse of emotion that is Goner, Blurryface is an album that I'm gonna be playing for years to come.
She says like literally, music is the air she breathes, and the malaprops make me wanna fucking scream.
I wouldn't mind shadowing the ever odd and intricate Josh Tillman, aka Father John Misty, for a day or two just because he makes the ordinary situations sound so interesting somehow. I mean, practically a lot of the time, it's just him thinking out loud, giving us a very honest stream of consciousness, it feels like. And yeah, he's an asshole, but I'm totally okay with it whenever the music that goes with it sounds this great.
I'm not the anthem I once was, an anthem to say the song of me. But now there are no anthems, and all I can hear is the echo. And
In a year of lackluster comeback albums from well-established bands that have been broken up or else on hiatus for a long period of time comes Sleater-Kinney, a rock band with plenty of gas left in the tank, starring Carrie Brownstein, Janet Weiss, and Corinne Tucker in a tale of love, life, and strife. You'll find yourself rocking out harder than ever before, featuring performances such as Bury Our Friends, Bob's Burgers Approved, A New Wave, and everyone's favorite, Price Tag, coming to a Critics year-end list near you, December 2015.
whisper, whimper on the eye. Won't forget to close your eyes for you. I'll sing before you lie down, and wish you sleep along the aisle.
Another Eternity is just a little ball of electronic joy to me. It's like a little innocent baby that can virtually do no wrong. It doesn't exactly reinvent the wheel, nor does it really need to in order to provide a tasty batch of shimmering electro-charged jams. Flood on the Floor is breathtaking, Begin Again is just eerie and irresistible, and as if that's not enough, you've got the rest of the album to just sit back and listen to it deliver everything from slow burning to danceable. Enjoy.
They walk and talk, they tell me to swim good. No boat, I float better than he would. No life jacket, I'm not the God of Nazareth. But your flood can be misunderstood. War telling me they full of pain, resentment. Need someone to live in them just to relieve tension. Me, I'm just a tenant.
The words, the rhymes, the jazzy and soulful instrumentals, yes, they all speak for themselves, but here's me giving you another reminder just to let you know that Kendrick dropped the best and the most important hip-hop record of 2015, and obviously one of my favorite albums of the year, clocking in at number 3, and he did all of this all without sticking to the popular trends, which I think is amazing. One of the smartest rappers that I've ever listened to, hands down, coming through once again with a long but incredibly well put together follow-up to the acclaimed Good Kid, Mad City. That was not a small task because critics, including myself, fans everywhere, loved and lauded that record.
Bide our time, stay afloat, keeping the sun up off our boats. I never asked to know, never planned, till I was swept out of my hand.
If I'm listening to this record, you'll probably find me smiling, singing along, dancing, shedding man tears, mowing the lawn, completing everyday activities. What I'm getting at is that this is synth pop perfection. It made me a little bit dead inside to not put this at number 1 on my list because anthems like Leave a Trace, the amazing Keep You on My Side, which is just so fervent with its spirit, and then of course Empty Threat that is just absolute gold, make me so happy as I listen through this record, but the decision is final. What could have topped this? What could have been higher on the list? Well, we're gonna find out with number 1, but not before we disclose the honorable mentions. Positive Songs for Negative People, Frank Turner. That's the Spirit, Bring Me the Horizon. Thank Your Lucky Stars, Beach House. 25, Adele, Glitterbug, The Wombats.
Shake your head, have some fun. Forget our mothers and past lovers, forget everyone. Oh, I'm so lucky. You were my
I remember the excitement that I had building up towards this record, hoping to God that it would be this amazing, enthralling listen, and I have to say that I am so stoked that my hype for the Wolf Alice album paid off big time. I listened to Giant Peach on an NPR blog on a whim one day, heard that it was amazing, and checked out a few other tracks like Bros, and then I was like, yes, let's hear more of this, please. And then we get My Love Is Cool, in what tends to become a 90s post-grunge wet dream mixed with modern alternative music with a few extra tricks up its sleeve. This band turned out what is, in my opinion, of course, not only the best debut album of the year, but the best album in general of 2015. Hard-hitting rock moments come in the form of the Grammy-nominated Moaning Lisa Smile, and then of course the huge Giant Peach, which is just a monster of a tune. Looking for more of those restrained moments, then of course you're going to want to turn your eyes to Turn to Dust, or maybe even the hidden track The Wonder Why, or Swallowtail, which is the only male-led vocal track on this record. There's something for everyone. There's so many different styles of rock. They bring in the synthesizers, they bring in the 90s influences, especially on tracks like Freezy, which is easily one of my favorite songs of the year. There's just so much to love. It's like looking out at a gorgeous set of mountains and you're just looking out across the skyline, and there's something that you love about every single one of them. You're just enthralled. That's myself, and My Love Is Cool. Oi mate, not everyone's heard me, not everyone's heard of Wolf Alice. I don't know why you're doing an Australian accent for me, but sometimes people don't exactly get to all the NPR blogs. Well, guys, if you haven't done so already, definitely pick up this record. I might be doing a giveaway for you guys to win this record. I might just have a little download code in here, so if you're interested in it, definitely follow me on Twitter, and I might send out the link to one of my lucky viewers. So there we have it, the album of the year, My Love Is Cool by the UK rock group Wolf Alice. Amazing debut, a lot of amazing records this year. What were your top 5 albums of 2015? Let me know with a comment down below, and while you're there, maybe smash the like button on this video, and of course if you're new, subscribe to the channel, because friends don't let friends go unsubscribed. There's a list dropping every single week in December this year, so make sure you stick around. You're not going to want to miss out on any of those. We still have to come the top 50 songs of the year, and of course the 10 worst albums of 2015. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys very soon right here on ARTV.